Assalamu alaikum, dear listeners. Welcome to Salam Radio, the voice of knowledge and inspiration. I'm Mehtab.
And I'm Shamir.
We're thrilled to have you join us today for a brand new episode of Education Matters. Education Matters is your go-to destination for all things education. Whether you're a student, a teacher, a parent, or someone who's passionate about the power of learning, this is the show for you. Each week, inshallah, we'll dive deep into the world of education, exploring the latest trends, innovations, and challenges in the field. We'll also bring you inspiring stories, expert interviews, and practical tips to help you navigate the educational landscape. And guess what, Shamir? I mean, the best part is we're not here to lecture you. You're not here to lecture people, are you?
99% of the time we're not. Yeah.
We are not here to lecture you. Inshallah, we're here. We're here to have a meaningful conversation and engage with you. We want to have a wonderful conversation with our listener. So if you have any question, thoughts, or ideas about education, don't hesitate to reach out to us and get in touch so we can have that conversation about education matters. Right, so if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can call us on 01733 602 133. That's 01733 602 133. Or you can always text in. Our number to text in is 074 11191062. And if you are watching us live on stream, where we are streaming on Facebook, YouTube, X, or even Twitch, you can always leave a comment on there where we will be picking that up and engaging you within the show. Even if you are watching later date, please do leave a comment so we can get you engaged into our next episode. So grab your favorite cup of tea, settle in, and let's embark on this educational journey together. Education Matters starts now. So this week, Shamir, what is it that we have in store for our listener this week?
So the hot topic, first week back.
By the way, we're back.
Yeah, it's been, 3 weeks off? So about 2-3 weeks off we've been...
Defined off. You're saying it like it was a holiday. Alhamdulillah.
It did feel like a holiday.
I think
for you, obviously, mashallah, you were Umrah. So Umrah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much. Yeah.
You had a very, very good time here, obviously, in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, of course. Alhamdulillah, we had a family trip over Umrah in Saudi Arabia. We're very lucky to take advantage of that opportunity. I mean, it was really busy. Really, really busy there.
Lots of teachers there. It's like a teacher's briefing there or something.
To be honest, I got to the airport and there was a teacher from our previous school. And she said, where are you going? I was like, I'm going to Umrah. And we were both on the same flight. And there happened to be two other teachers, which I didn't get to obviously bump into. But my very, very close friend from school times, he messaged me, when you send the message out, letting people know you're going to Umrah. He messaged while I was in Makkah. So I replied back with the picture, the view that I had of the mosque, and I said, I'm already here. And then we were like, inshallah, we'll meet up. And funny enough, I was just standing waiting for someone outside the mosque near a hotel.
Yeah.
And he just comes from the back and just taps on my shoulder. And I'm like, there's millions of people here. And we just bump into each other, alhamdulillah. And I also managed to bump into Brother Usama Muzaffar, who's obviously a very, very close friend of mine as well. And Brother Usama, obviously, he's as we on matter of education, he been exploring our deen and been obviously learning as a student, and he does, when he returns back to Peterborough, he does take some classes. He does online Arabic classes as well, which are highly recommended. And he obviously through Hatija Masjid, he delivers some classes, and inshallah he should be back in few months and set up something more permanent base where he will be able to share the knowledge, over the years that he spent. He's in Medina at the minute, mashallah, attending
Mashallah.
lectures and classes in Masjid al-Nabi by very well-known sheikhs there. So we look forward to see him in the near future, inshallah. So that was my 2 weeks, alhamdulillah, 10 days.
Mashallah, that's good.
Christmas Mubarak, how was yours?
But yeah, going back to the first topic of 2024. So, should we scrap SATs? So for primary school, primary age children, I should say, should we scrap SATs? That's going to be the debate over the next hour. Hopefully, inshallah, we'll go over some pros, we'll go over some cons. We've got an article regarding Jeremy Corbyn a couple of years ago, where he's talked about scrapping SATs quite a lot throughout his previous campaigns politically. But we wanted to, like Mehtab's obviously mentioned it already, we wanted your thoughts and your say. So please do get in touch. Let us know what you feel about SATs, and do you feel it's productive? Do you feel schools are getting a lot out of it, or like the feeling of quite a lot of people over the last couple of years, should it be completely scrapped? And going on the scrappage, what do you think it should be replaced with, if it should be replaced with anything else? So yeah, please do get in touch.
I mean, it's a very, very important debate. I think when we were planning the show back in, I think it was October sometime, and when we had the topic of SATs, the reason why is, there's a lot of talk within the government as well, proposal being put forward for it to be scrapped. And it's just a case of, obviously, just to give you background of SATs, they are completed at the end of, towards the end of year 6. They are in a controlled environment, which is set by the schools, primary schools, and then they'll have papers on maths. I think they've got arithmetic, reasoning, the papers on English as well, spelling, reading, grammar, and so on. They kind of, the schools use that data to kind of put it on their website, and there's a ranking for those data.
I think it's also it's a way of trying to prove that you are spending the government funding properly, and you're doing.
That's a good argument about it. Yeah,
you're doing the right.
You're
things.
getting the school. Parents can use it to
results,
see.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah, parents can obviously use that to see how if they're sending if they're sending their child to a school, they want to know what's their pass rate, how many students are getting what, is it 120, 125 marks in their SATs.
What's the average? Is it 100?
I think around 150 to 120. Depends on obviously some of the areas.
But I think the target marks are 100 normally.
I think 120. Well, this is the thing, you see.
Obviously, we're from a secondary background, but we're going on hearsay.
The secondary schools, so this is the deal, right? And this is the reason why it may be up for consideration, right? So when SATs are completed, that data is then passed on to secondary schools, okay? We work in secondary schools, and for the ones that we worked in, not all secondary schools use that data, okay? You got to realize your child would had a break of, they are completed. When they complete, they got the summer, June, July, August, 3 months. That is a very, very long time to be, going back on the topics that they did in SAT. So it's a very big break. So by the time that your child comes into secondary school, and there's all sort of going on for them. They come into a secondary school from where they were used to 1 or 2 classroom to maybe 12, where they were used to 600 students to maybe 2,000 or 1,500, on an average 1,200 students that we have at the moment. And rather than one teacher, they are now going to have probably about 10 different teachers. So there's a lot of information to take in for your child. And then to have the expectation that they're going to remember everything that they did in year 6. I mean, don't get me wrong, most do. Most of them do. But it is that data, then obviously, the secondary schools then would have a question mark on it. So majority of the secondary schools, from my own research, we can say they have internal exams, internal assessment for their child, and the internal assessment then allows them to put them into different sets if they are putting them into sets when they start in year 7. Some may put them into sets after Christmas. So just to explain to our listeners about the sets, so majority of the core subjects, especially with maths, there is, like, let's just say for year 7, there's 5 classes. It'll go from set 1 all the way to set 5. Set 1 to probably be the higher class. They'll be teaching the higher content, especially when they get towards GCSE. You'd expect them to sit the higher paper. Whereas the remaining set probably be foundation. Okay? And so that and then foundation, you can get a grade up to maximum of 5, or higher you can get a grade up to 9. So that's the difference that it makes. Now, majority of the schools, they have a view that, there's a big gap. We can't expect the students to still remember what they learned in secondary. And, we putting them into sets based on what they did 3 months ago wouldn't really give us a realistic figure. And then obviously there's a question about how the SATs, or under what condition was the SATs done in primary school as well. So if they are not used in secondary, then what is the point of them doing them? So the point at the minute is obviously the school use them as ranking. The school would use them to advertise themselves against other schools. A lot of the schools, they would publish their results, which are available on the website and the government website, which a lot of parents, I'm sure, use it. But we want to know what you guys think. So first, let's look at an option and look at a world where they are scrapped.
Yeah, so I mean, we hopefully we want to break this debate down into the pros and cons. Obviously, we've got to sit on the fence. But for example, you've got a couple of obvious pros. So in terms of reason
for scrapping it.
No, for keeping it.
Let's talk about scrapping it first.
Scrapping it?
Yeah. So what are your...
Why would I scrap it?
Yeah, so what would you say would be a benefit to parent, child, teacher, school as a community?
I mean, first of all, I think, like you mentioned the transition between primary and secondary. You talked about, obviously, how the exams and assessments are done in secondary. What did they get in year 11? They get certificates. Yeah,
as in the GCSEs. Yeah.
So GCSEs, A levels, they get certificates. It's certified. So SATs are not certificated, which basically means why, if we're not going to even give them certificates, if no one's going to ask them in a few years' time, what did you guys get in SATs? Then why would we put them through all the pressure and stress of, especially in year 5 and 6, working the whole education system around these few exams that are going to be sitting in a normal classroom. So it's not it's not even being sat in an exam hall, which it opens up a whole different debate. But
I think some schools are cater for them.
Yeah.
From our research, have shown, obviously,
but it's not
that
like
there's only about two out of 5 or 1 out of 5 that do it in an exam hall.
There you go. Yeah. So if they're not, you first of all, you're not even doing them in an exam hall, which is going on what you said
we're
earlier.
used to exam hall because of how GCSEs.
Yes. But like you mentioned earlier, the control environment, and then you've changed the whole sort of mindset in year 5 and 6 towards these SATs. Not 100% of it, but most of it, majority of it. So the kids are already building up this pressure. They need to do well. They got pressure from families. They got pressure from peers. They got pressure from teachers. But then when they've done these SATs, like you mentioned earlier, some secondary schools might not even use them. They use their own baseline tests. So that was a waste of time.
So you're saying...
I'm just trying to give you...
So because the secondary school may not use them.
You do,
Yeah.
because you don't get certificate. It's not
There's no like you're not gonna use them in future to say I want this. They're not relevant.
For example, what did you get in your sets? I think I'll put you on the spot here. What did you get in your sets?
I was about to say I think I might have done in Pakistan, but I realised I started year 4 here.
So
I don't know. I don't know.
But
I think I did good because I'm teaching now.
Okay, there you go. So you could have literally just given me any 3 numbers.
There's no way for you to check. Yeah.
And I would have said,
I got full marks. Full marks.
You got 100%.
Yeah, mum just texted me full marks. I got.
So you've got 100% across all your exams in SATs, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I believe you.
Yeah, I know.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can't even show me any certificates for it because you haven't got them, because that's not the way SATs are regulated. So, going back to why would I scrap it? That's one reason why I would. Obviously, it's not down to me personally, but that's one reason.
So we got. Sorry, I just want to summarize up.
Yeah.
Summarize it. So the secondary schools don't use them as much as they should do. There's not a lot of importance given to them. It's not done in
some secondary schools, yeah.
Yeah, obviously it's not certified or something that you use later in life. So are they really necessary? And one other thing I think, which is a key point that you mentioned, pressure. Is it fair to put our young minds under so much pressure at a very early age?
I don't think so, because what you've already started to do is you put so much emphasis on this academic. What can we call it? Academic pathway of education, yeah?
Yeah.
But what about the kids that were never meant to be academic, but they were meant to be more practical? Why is there no practical assessments? Does that make sense?
So,
because you've already started to group or label kids because based on academic versus practical.
Yeah, I mean, that debate,
Would it not be fair to assess everybody? So, for example, you got a really academic kid like yourself, you got 100% in all of your stats. Yeah? Then I think Mr.
Kendall probably say something different. And Mr. Parker.
So, for example, I like to say, I want to be thought. I want to see myself as 50% practical, 50% academic. Yeah, if I could go back into year 6, would it be fair to give you the same exams as me? Because you're 100% academic, I'm 50% academic. I've got to almost catch up with you. I'm playing catch up with you.
I think what we got to understand is not everyone is going to be amazing at maths. And that is okay. Not everyone's going to be amazing at English. That is also okay. And not everyone's going to be amazing at science. Some people may be so good in, like, artistically very well.
There you go. This is exactly what I was thinking earlier.
And that is not tested. It's that. So someone okay, let's look at it, with a different mind frame, right?
Yeah.
We got a child here who's very artistic, right? Their drawing is in a way where people would pay money for, right?
Yeah.
And he's in year 6. At the end of the day, we all learn, we all want to get educated because we want to go into a job and make something of ourselves and look for this worldly success that we call, yeah? So then you got another child who's academically very good.
Yeah.
Right? So the child who was good artistically, let's just say that child will score very low marks in their SATs.
In the core subjects, yeah.
Well, just a year 6 SATs,
yes.
The other child
Yeah.
will do amazing, 100%. Right? So at the moment, we're looking at them two like this, aren't we?
Yeah.
One is a lot higher than the other. Then, throughout school, okay, that child obviously will start showing their success in the art subjects, yeah? And then once school is finished, they could be so good in art that they'll probably be, if we were to say in terms of success, be more successful than the student.
They could overtake them. Absolutely.
So,
but that's not
why. I mean, that's the thing. You see, that's how do we obviously. I mean, we'll go on to that in a moment, but I think there are many very very valid points for mental, emotional well-being, to scrap SATs, and those that we mentioned already. There's a lot of countries I think there's a lot of countries out there. They're learning. They do project-based learning, right? And the way that they're assessing the student, for example, right, where, as you would know, we're continuously assessing our students, right? Someone walks into the door, in terms of our school expectations, we're already judging them against that, yeah? Uniform, pencil case, this,
Yeah.
right? They sit down, they get the starter, yeah, just look at them, what they scored, yeah, 5 out of 5. Mini whiteboard activity, for example. We're continuously assessing our students. That is our default setting in our teacher's mind. So if that is our default setting, why do we need to have a test? Why do we need to formally assess them, some summative assessment at the end of it? Because that summative assessment, there are a lot of pressure, and they're going in there, probably praying the night before, and while sitting in the test, having that fear of those jutiyan from home, that they are not going to perform the best.
Factories back out.
Bata, you know what I mean? They are not going to perform the best.
There are other choppers available, obviously.
Of course, and
No, of course, I get you.
do you see what I mean? So that's my reason.
100%.
As in, if we were to argue to Axel.
So are you sort of like, if it was up to you, would you scrap them? In one answer, like in a very single word, would you scrap them?
The way the SAS are done, yes, but I would have something, not something to replace it exactly.
The system, you have to have an assessment system, don't you?
Yeah.
I think in place.
There would be more of a, like we, there are other tuitions available, like masterminds, in terms of our assessments, it's done in more of a circular motion rather than a linear.
I only keep hearing mastermind, so I thought that was the only one.
And so because of that, I would maybe look at other ways of assessing, and people who are the decision makers. That is something definitely to take into. And sorry, one more thing as well. This is probably our fault as teachers, but it's important to talk about this. How are our results stacked against other countries?
Not like we see. Obviously, okay. So the stereotypical view, I think, in the UK is we've obviously got an amazing education system. Yeah.
Who said that?
No, the view. Yeah.
Okay.
The view is obviously, and the feeling on the streets, I'd say, is
on the streets. Yeah. The ghetto boys we're doing amazing.
Like,
They're saying
education system UK is obviously taught as like one of the highest in the world. Yeah, but like you just mentioned, statistically, it's not.
This is something that I was doing a bit of research a couple of years ago, and what it was showing, there's a lot of schools in other countries where if you were to measure the intelligence or the intellectual levels of students at a certain age in all of the countries, we were nowhere near the top 10. And those countries, their system was not set up as ours. They were not.
I feel like there some countries, like for example Sweden, they've got amazing education.
The project. Are we? What I'm trying to say is, so there must be a better way to us.
I think they've been a little bit braver over the last decade. And they've tried new things. That we're talking about.
Yeah,
they've tried it. Maybe sampled it with a small sample and then distributed it across the country. But they've been a lot more braver and a lot more adventurous with their project-based education system, yeah? And they've got the results out of it over the last decade. So I think we've just been static. We're stuck in the mud. We've got this idea, we've got the best resources, we've got the best facilities, we've got the best teachers.
And now, we do, alhamdulillah, have best teachers. But now there's a question mark on extending the time. Now there is a argument, or Rishi Sunak said, about extending the time that students are in school for. So they're thinking about maybe adding another lesson onto the day. They're thinking about making it compulsory for students to do like maths A-levels to increase the standards, which yes, makes sense.
That's similar to what they did in China years and years ago.
But why? I know. But why? How come other countries are spending, not money-wise, the time kids are spending less time in school but getting most out of it? So yes, there are other setups available. Maybe we need to, it's a debate to be have.
I think it's that's where you've got to fit it into your culture.
Yeah.
But it's not just like, oh yeah, we'll do this because they're doing it and it work for us.
It may not work.
There's
This
a
is
lot
what I
of
mean. We're
factors
not
that
the
come into
decision
it.
makers, but we're definitely the point raisers.
One day you might be.
So we have a
How
break.
long have we got till break?
We got
Oh, is it
43
okay.
seconds left. So we were just discussing about primary school, about the SATs, should they be scrapped at the moment. We only talked about the key stage 2 SATs.
Yeah, we at the minute I
And
think
then
we
got
just
the
touched
key
upon
stage 1. And
why
then,
we
there's
should scrap
loads of things to talk about at the moment. We got a couple of comments that we want to read out after the break. If you have something that you'd like to share, if your child is going through this at the moment, how are they feeling? How are your bata shoes prepared? Are they ready? Are they ready? So do get in touch. Give us a call. We'd be more than happy to listen to what you got to say. We'll see you after the break. Assalamu alaikum.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.
Masterminds Tuition Academy is for your high schoolers, your something to provers, your subject strugglers and keen learners, your brave jumpers and fist pumpers. Affordable personalised learning plans are delivered through our centres in schools across Peterborough. But not to worry, we also provide online and home visits with flexible timings. Whether it is maths, English, science or 11 plus, Masterminds is a must. Find us on all socials and visit our website mastermindstuitionacademy.com or call us on 07516 166 003. Masterminds, master the matrix.
At Master's Pharmacy, we put your health and convenience first. We offer free blood pressure checks and blister-packed medication. With our free same-day prescription delivery service, you can have your medication when you need it. We also offer travel vaccinations, including Hajj and Umrah, along with other services to meet all your pharmacy needs. For more information, contact Master's Pharmacy on 01733 567 208 or visit us at 303 Lincoln Road, PE1 2PH.
Thinking of laser hair removal but worried about cost? Well Skin Clinic, Peterborough's #1 aesthetic clinic, offers 0% finance on courses of laser hair removal. We perform thousands of treatments using the Soprano titanium in our prestigious clinic. Virtually pain-free and suitable for all skin types, our team of aesthetic professionals can help you achieve your goals affordably. Well Skin Clinic, making life-changing aesthetic treatments affordable for all. 40 Cowgate, Peterborough. Call or WhatsApp us on 01733 555540.
Do you own a restaurant or takeaway? Cater Fair is an expert supplier of new and used commercial catering equipment. Visit caterfair.co.uk for quality equipment on sale at the lowest prices, or call us on 01733 310 115 or visit us at 11 Royce Road, Fengate, Peterborough.
At Cake Inn, all our cakes and slices are freshly baked for that delicious taste. At Cake Inn, we bake 100% vegetarian and halal eggless fresh queen cakes. Delicious flavoured cakes for birthdays and weddings, ceremonies and all other occasions, with free customised messages, even balloons and candles too. Order for delivery or collection from Cake Inn, 489 Lincoln Road, PE1 2PE, and your cake could be ready within 2 hours. Find out more and order online at cakein.co.uk or call 01733 496 584.
We know you're concerned about heating your home in this cost of living crisis. We are too, which is why at Peterborough City Council we're doing all we can to help. Visit peterborough.gov.uk for ideas and links to help, support and advise you on ways to save energy this winter and access funds available for boiler and heating works, plus to insulate your home, one of the best and long-term ways to save on energy bills. Find out more at peterborough.gov.uk.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Education Matters. We just took a short break and we were getting carried away by Brother Akil telling us about his plans, inshallah. Right, so welcome back. We are discussing primary education about, the SATs, should they be scrapped, should they be axed? I mean, it's a conversation that the government been dancing around for a couple of years. But it seemed to be something that might definitely go ahead in the next few years. So we wanted to, bring our thoughts to it and see what we think. We'd like you to get involved if you have a child that is in year 6, getting him ready for your SAT. Do please give us a call on 01733 602 133, or you can text in on 07411 191062. And if you are watching us live stream on Facebook, YouTube, X or Twitch, please do leave a comment. As I promised, we will be reading out some comments out to you. So year 2 SATs, so these are key stage 1, are another thing which should be scrapped. Year 2. So the key stage 1 SATs.
Key stage 1. Oh yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
To be honest with you, we actually had someone in tuition. I don't know if you remember 2 years ago. We start our tuition at year 3. There's been so many inquiries for year 1 and 2, and I'm not going to lie to you. We turned around and said, "What would you like us to teach them?" Because it's too early. So if we are in that mind frame, I think we
scrapped something ourselves, haven't we?
We collectively agree that they should definitely be scrapped. It is early, and I think we talk about these assessments preparing them for the future, and yes, that's a valid point. You would like your child to be under pressure and be prepared, because in real life that situations happen every day. So if they don't get that practice, it's going to be very difficult for them. Okay, but we agree with that, but we're looking at all the other things that come with the SATs. The pressure, the data. Are they using the data? Is there a point? The setting up and everything. Thank you very much, Mr. Akbar. Thank you for, he is very biased, mashallah. Very biased. He's all the way in Riyadh. And we'd just like to hear if you have any, you're teaching out there, if there is anything that's different in the teaching system there, please do leave a comment on Facebook. We'd love to share that with our listeners. What are the ways that they assess the younger primary school? Are they doing regular assessments? Do they have something similar to us? Now, thank you for everyone that's getting involved. Thank you very much. So in terms of moving forward, let's now talk about why they shouldn't be scrapped.
So in contrast, obviously, to what we've been discussing for the first part of the show, why they should, at the minute, obviously they're still around, so clearly the pros have outweighed the cons over the last few years of discussion. One of them was because they measure and track progress, which obviously they do. That's what they're there for, the standard assessment tests in place to do that. So they obviously measure and track progress. Another thing was you've had your first, I think that's one of your first experiences in life, secondary school. And this is seen as like the grand finale of of your secondary school life. Sorry, not secondary school, primary school. So this is seen as like your grand finale of your primary school life. You come in, key stage 1, you're playing about. Key stage 2, everything changes, and then you're taught how to sit exam and assessments. And SATs has been seen forever as this like the pinnacle of primary school. The higher scores you get in your SATs, the easier your life will be in secondary school, because of the sets and the classes that we discussed about earlier. Okay. Tabby just put me on the spot a little bit. Right, so I can't multitask. I'm a man. You need to understand that. Right, so It's like this grand
I don't
finale,
agree,
top
yeah.
of the mountain. You're gonna do your sats, and then you're gonna go and you're really gonna put your head down in year
It gives
7.
them a goal to work towards. Would you say, yeah?
Yeah, so I get that 100%. I get that. It's good. Obviously, we wouldn't want them to go to school and then parents says to us, "How did my kid get on in school?" Sorry, I'm not going to judge your kid. So I'll see him tomorrow morning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're never going to have that discussion with the parents. But it is obviously there in place as a strategy at the minute. What myself and Mehtab are trying to get to the bottom of, obviously with your help, is if we could still measure and track progress, we could still have this grand finale feeling, but could we do it in a more practical way? Now,
Useful way, yeah.
a little bit of difference. So let's change it up a little bit. Going back to, I think at the start, I did mention this article about Jeremy Corbyn. I've just checked on the break, and it was back in 2019, so before COVID, so pre-COVID.
Conversations out, yeah.
So he was advocating for scrapping SATs, and he said if he gets in power, one of the first things he's going to do is scrap the SATs. And then he's quoted here saying, "We need to prepare children for life, not just exams." And
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, and the crowd went crazy, and they started applauding. They loved the idea of that, or they loved that
Do you
quote.
reckon that might be why he's been scrapped?
I don't, that's a good point. I would like
Normally
to think
good
no.
ideas get scrapped, hey?
But yeah, so he had this big applause from the crowd, and then he's gone on and said SATs and the regime of extreme pressure testing are giving young children nightmares and leaving them in floods of tears.
I mean, those are the reason to be, yeah?
So this is just touching upon what his views were. But going back to the point I've made about keeping, obviously, the SATs, is what he said here. So although it's like high pressure tests for a 10-year-old, so I'll repeat that, 10 years old. You're 10 years old and you've got all these like different ideas of life, which we crave to sometimes often go back into our childhood. You have these wacky, crazy, but I like to think outside the box, really imaginative like ideas of how life is going to end up being. But then all of a sudden a 10-year-old sat down and you're going to do SATs and you're prepping for it since you were 8. And then for the rest of your life, if you study and go to uni and stuff, can you imagine that? Right, for the next 20 years, you're still studying and you're still in that same routine, exams, assessments. So what he went on and said was basically a similar thing. We can still measure and track progress. We can still give them that feeling like you've worked hard for this. Here's your reward. Yeah, you got a very good success outcome. But what he's trying to say is, could there be more? What did he call it? A more flexible and a more practical system in place to assess that.
So, I mean, a lot of the comments that you mentioned are summarizing it to be scrapped.
No. Like, I apologize if that's the way it come across. I'm trying to stay neutral here, but
I know.
I think you can see where I stand
Yeah,
with it.
I mean, one of the things that I really liked was the fact that you mentioned about giving a purpose and a goal to a child. And, you know, if you don't, like, for example, in secondary, sometimes you have a target grade for a student.
Yeah.
If you imagine starting in year 7 and saying, oh, by the way, your target is grade 3, which is not even a pass.
Here you go. Yeah.
Now, you know that's not aspirational target.
Yeah, it's
right?
like you're going to set off Mount Everest, but you're not going to reach the top.
It's okay, you just
you're going to come
climb
in the
it.
middle somewhere.
And then imagine, I mean, how many times have we done this? Okay, guys, I mean, we had an activity today that I was doing, right? There was a, like a bronze, there's red, amber, green, and an extension task I had.
Yeah.
And it was working as in, like, as soon as you finish the red,
like a carousel.
So I was giving them the amber one, and then they
okay.
were going. We were doing area of circle. Can you remind our listeners, area of a circle, what's the formula?
Pi r squared.
Pi r squared. Those of you that are probably looking at your homework and not sure.
Thank you for the easy question.
Of course. So, I said to them, the first one to obviously complete all of this and get it all right, there'll be a prize.
Yeah.
Right?
Did it make him more eager? Did it make him more determined?
100%. But
there you go.
there's something that I'm going to obviously... how many times have you done that in the classroom but not prepared a prize? We just said it. Just, I don't know, we just got
I say it every day.
Yeah.
I'm in a lot of debt, by the way.
And then what happened? I forgot that I said that. Right? And at the end, the girl who obviously done all of them is like,
Yeah.
so who won? And I was like, actually, you know, she was the one that got. Hence why she's asking the question. I was like, it was you. So where's my prize? Luckily, I had some biscuits. Yeah, so as an emergency stash.
I think.
So she took my jammy dodgy.
Could you call it emergency stash if you got you have biscuits every day of your life? you've got them somewhere.
They're
in
not
your bag.
yeah,
I don't think it's emergency. Is that to make yourself feel better? Yeah.
Obviously, if what you meant to have with tea, you can't have samosa, can you?
I don't expect you to start making a pronto there in the classroom. but
Exactly. So hence why
it's a quick
biscuits
fix,
are
quick fix,
necessary.
quick
Yeah,
fix,
of course. So that there, imagine if there was no goal.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So then you got these people
It's an empty feeling, yeah.
working towards, oh, okay, what am I going to get out of it? Now, at the minute, the problem that we are having, one of the problems that we're having with GCSE is, how many times have you heard a student say, okay, where is this GCSE going to help me?
Today, I had a kid today.
Yeah.
Literally had a conversation
Constantly,
with them.
they are not seeing, you know, I think, and this is something that I just want to kind of summarize all this, you know. We get a lot of people that are focused on, okay, SATs, GCSE, where am I going to use this? Where am I going to use this?
But they're
And
not
they are absolutely right. My answer to these guys is, look, whether you're going to be working in a restaurant or working in a law industry, wherever you're working, it's not going to be the case. Okay, before you flip that burger, can you work out use Pythagoras and work out C, please? They're not going to do that, are they?
Or can
right?
you measure the area?
Measure the area
of the burger.
Before we sign that contract, let's measure the area of this circle, please.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
They're not going to do that. And you are absolutely right. Your test, your assessments, you may never use those again. However,
You're going to use the skills.
the skills, what you are doing is, by learning, it's like what I say to my students, your brain is going to the gym, right? Your brain is learning problem solving, which helps you. So when you go into store and someone's like, okay, you know, that's 20% off, they know straight away what that means. You are becoming someone who can read. You are becoming someone who can write. You are becoming someone who can solve problems, who can read letters to your parents. That's what education is about. I think we get too used to the mindset of, and I think even our parents as well, you know, the elders get used to the mindset of, you know, it's exam, but we don't realize what's behind it. And the behind it is, you know, the skills that our children are learning. You know, they are being able to work out problem solving. Their brains are then able to solve problems that other students who are not being educated, they are not able to do. Okay, we should be blessed in that sense, and that's the main aim about it. You know, so I think we need to get out of our head, you know, that we're going there to sit in an exam. Exam is another stepping stone for you to go to your next stage. But the real deal, the real beneficial for you is the fact that you are learning how to read, how to write, how to solve problems. You will become intelligent enough to be able to solve the problems and navigate your way around, you know, on this earth, and be able to do things that many people cannot do. So I think it's important to realize that and value the education. In terms of, if we were to summarize it, then would you say the acing, scrapping outweighs?
Is this the bit where I don't have to be neutral? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I was ready for this, literally the whole hour.
Were you? Okay.
So basically, I personally think that it's not fair and balanced to cater for every child in the classroom, because every child is different. Some are more practical, some are more academic. It favours the more academic children. That's my personal opinion on it. So I do think it should be scrapped. SATs should be scrapped. There should be another practical system in place to measure and track progress of learning. Learning could be practical and academic.
Can I counter argument?
Not yet. Actually, go
I
on.
will do because
you're gonna do it anyway. Go on.
Yeah, we have to. if you're going to put something practical,
Yeah, no, something more flexible and practical, which basically would cater for
but
academic
okay,
and.
I'll take that back.
Yeah.
Continue.
Because,
Please
yeah,
continue.
because otherwise, if it was just
Then you're not
practical,
making-
then you've made it. You've solved one problem, but you created another problem. So
Yep.
it would have to be flexible and practical. Don't ask me exactly what it would be because I don't think it's anywhere near ready at the minute anyway to develop and change. You've also there's another so intelligent sampling. So this is something I researched earlier. Intelligent sampling, which basically means let the kids develop in primary as they are, because we trust our teachers and we trust the environment anyway. Yeah, so let them develop as they are. Don't put the pressure of exams and stress on them. But if you want to judge schools, if you want to judge or if you want to show, okay, I'm spending the government's money right because I've developed a few kids, maybe you could use intelligent sampling. So maybe you don't have to use every single person, because if it is there to prove that you're doing a good job as a school, then you don't. Do you need to test 100% of the kids just to verify that you're doing the right job?
What if the school sends over Shimi, who's
No,
going
it's
to ace every
intelligent
test?
sampling. It has to be random sampling.
Oh, what? Okay,
It has to be random sampling. Otherwise, they'd pick and choose.
Yeah.
But there's. I don't think there's a conclusive answer, but my vote would obviously go for scrapping SATs.
Okay, excellent. We got our favorite listener. I feel Middle East education system is similar to South Asia, where the focus is on memorization, where preparing for exam, compared to the European systems, where learning is supported and encouraged through creativity and hands-on practical approach. The mindset is most probably influenced by the lack of resources in the developing world. And I totally agree. Thank you very much for your point, Mr. Akbar, there. You're absolutely right. I think with the mastery curriculum that's coming in, we're becoming I know before we were obviously ranking against the other world and we were seeing where we are. But in terms of that data that we are looking at, where other countries are doing better than us, is that due through memorization? Yeah, and what's wrong with memorization? You know what I mean? There's argument of what's wrong with memorization. That's another topic that you can have. But in terms of our UK system, as you know now as well, we're starting to focus a lot, and I think there's underlining of it throughout our schema work and the curriculum there. We are always looking at making sure that the students know the skills and are applying it, rather than teaching them how to answer the question. We are teaching them the skills to answer the question. That is definitely apparent in the schools that I worked with, and I agree the fact that way, that is a better system than to have people memorize the answers or memorize each case study. When it comes to, like, for example, English, memorizing the whole text, memorizing every type of answer, and then you just literally write that. So you'll get, rather than you memorize it, coming from memory, you're just applying. And, that may be because of lack of, they don't have the resources enough to be able to do that. So it is a very, very interesting debate. And, we will wait further to see what the government will decide. Okay, whether it will have knock-on effect, there will be a knock-on effect on parents, maybe on tuition centres, on variety of different stakeholders that it will impact. But it will be interesting to see, does it improve the well-being, the intelligence level, the academic success of our future generation, or will it have a negative impact? And that will be something that we have to wait and see. Right, so that was the topic for today, in terms of discussing our future who are sitting their Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2 this year, and just looking at, few points. And we apologize, obviously, if there is anything that we, offended anyone, or, we want to get all these points across so people have the information to make the right decision or have the right points. Right. The other thing that obviously all of you, hopefully most schools by now should have had their PPEs, otherwise known as mocks, for their year 11s.
Yeah.
Another stressing point. That's for another show.
Yeah.
And then, we from Salam Radio, from Education Matters, we hope and pray that those tests went really well. And we hope and pray that you got the results that you need in order to prepare yourself for the second set of mocks, which are happening in March. But at the same time, we'd like to invite all year 11s who have received those results and would like to push your grade, whether you got grade, we're becoming a specialist center in terms of passing our GCSE, but at the same time, we're becoming a center where our focus is the 7s and the 8s and the 9s. So if you are someone who received your mocks, who received your PPE, and you're like, you know what, I could do better, please, join us. And we are based in Thomas Deacon Academy and Jackson School, and we are also based in Northampton. And we, as a tuition company, cater and will support you with a personalized plan to ensure that you get the grade, not the only one that you need, but you reach your highest potential. Okay? And you can go onto our website, or you can find us on social media. For all our year 11s, only year 11 students across all our centers, we are doing a free trial this Saturday. Please do join us at Jacken 10 o'clock and TDA at 1 o'clock. It's completely free, no sign up needed. We will need your you can walk in and just provide us your name, contact number for your parents for safeguarding, and we will give you a lesson, whether the free trial. And if that is something that we are more than happy to help our community and do everything that we can to support you guys in for your education. And thank you, bro Yo, who said, always remember Rabbi Zidni Ilma, my Lord, increase me in knowledge. Always something to remember when you are doing your test also. Right, so in terms of that, Mastermind Tuition Academy, we are available on Saturday, 10 o'clock at Jackson School, and 1 o'clock, is it? 1 o'clock at TDA.
TDA 1 to 4.
Yeah, and if you are listening in Northampton or other areas, please go onto our website, check the times. Mastermind Tuition Academy, as a new year, and obviously with the prep exams that are done, the mocks that are done, we are giving out free trials for our year 11, free 3 hours of tuition on a Saturday for the first week. And if that is something you're interested, we have limited spaces available for you to sign up for the rest of the term, and then again for the remaining of the course.
I think it's a perfect time, obviously, especially with the, like you said, new year. Mocks are out the way. You know your targets, you know your weaknesses. Bring them to the tutors. Maths, English, science, you can obviously fix and basically get out of the way using obviously masterminds.
And if for any parents out there,
you got free sessions for the parents as well.
We do. No, sorry, just if for any parents out there,
you're more than welcome as well.
No, I mean, what I was going to say was we have Education Matters. So if you guys would like any free advice,
I forgot to mention, I had a discussion with some of the kids at school earlier, and they were saying, "Oh, we like Mr. Akram's new vlogging. He started last week or something," and I was like, "Look, guys, follow the socials, because even during exam and stressful seasons, we're dropping in free resources, we're dropping in questions, we're doing QLAs, we're doing model papers. If you follow the Mastermind socials, then you have got access to all of that. Whether you're at the sessions or not, you're still learning, you're still keeping active, you're still keeping on top of your revision routines. We're obviously going to give you the information first. So exam dates, exam information, key contacts, things like that. So do obviously follow. And
of course,
hopefully, inshallah, everyone benefits.
We got to realize exams, GCSE exams, they are not, they're not easy and they're quite stressful. And I think it's important that
Should
the
we scrap
parents...
GCSE exams, someone said.
Definitely no. So if you as a parent would like advice, please do join in. Just listen to us on the radio, get in touch. We are teachers, qualified teachers, and we have a team of teachers working in Peterborough where we would like to support you guys as much as we can.
Tell me more, Mehtab.
Tell you more.
I wish you could. I think you're running out of time now.
No. Please do, wherever it is, whatever question that you have, there's no silly question. Please reach out to us. Mastermind Tuition Academy, free advice is available. We as a community, we as a Peterborough, people in Peterborough would like to see the educational levels increase. Thank you again for joining us on this episode, listening to Education Matters. We hope you enjoy the show. Till next time, Assalamu alaikum.
Stay tuned to Salam Radio after this short ad break.